We're live. So, hi. We are currently trying to figure out how to do live on YouTube and on TikTok at the same time, because Becca's channel can go live. She has enough. They have enough followers for that. So you get even more of my phone in screen right now, and apparently my cable right in my face. That's fine. I'm also eating because it's been so long since we started trying to do this that I got hungry.
We started like an hour ago. We're like, we can do this. We'll do it at 12, and then or at 12 Central, 1 p.m. whatever your time is. We're like, we can knock this out, and then. and to be fair, I had all of the scenes set up on TikTok has a live thing, a live streaming platform that looks kind of like OBS. Anybody that streams, either uses a few programs, but OBS is like the most popular one to use. And they have one. TikTok Live has one that looks like OBS, and I had all of the scenes set up except for like getting Deeche's camera. But because I run off of a Surface that's like 5 years old now, it moves so slow. So freaking slow. And I'm just sitting here going, finish! Adding all the stuff.
Gil says it sounds good here, which is great. Thank you, Gil. The issue is going to be whenever Becca gets their TikTok up and running and see if my thing's over there. But thank you for checking. This is a lot of fun.
This is not working. This is not working. I gotta shut it down and then start it back up. Oh my god, this is just horrendous.
You can hear me eating too. Yeah, I had to turn the mic up on the gain up on my mic so that Becca could hear me on their side with the TikTok. So I'm so sorry. It's a great mic. But I'm so sorry you have to hear me eat. I'm starving and I was getting hangry and I was gonna start being mad at Becca, and I was like, okay, I need food.
Look, this stuff is outside my control. My computer's right. Like you look like, oh my god, you look like those little spin wheel animation things. That's what you look like to me right now, because my computer is running so freaking slow. I can't even get Taskmaster to start running.
We will definitely let you know when the TikTok goes, Gil. In the meantime, how you doing, Becca?
Definitely trying to be zen right now. Why is Microsoft Edge even open? What are you doing, home dog? I need you to what's gonna happen if I close you? Why are there 5 Microsoft Edges? Who even opened up Microsoft Edge? What happens if I close you right now? Nothing, apparently, so that ought to help. There we go, that's closed now. Are we still running? Is the stream still going?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Everything's good over here.
Alrighty.
I'm just sitting here. One of the topics we wanted to talk about today was our trip that we took in April. And I wanted to talk about the planning that went into that trip.
That was...
But I have a whole PowerPoint to help direct us through the trip. Because, funny enough, what happened pre-trip takes up a lot more slides than the trip. Oh, excuse me. I ate too fast.
Go for it. Start.
All right. So, let me transition over so you can see our lovely PowerPoint. And we'll start with the trip planning. So I decided I wanted to go. So one of my bucket list things is to go to every Disney park. And I was hoping to be able to do it. So I started doing Disney trips in 2019, and I've been able to go on every year, including 2020, but it was like pre-pandemic. That very short time pre-pandemic. But so I was able to go every year since 2019. So this year I was like, I want to go to Tokyo Disney. And so I was like, we're going to plan a Tokyo trip. And let me tell you, that spreadsheet on the screen is my spreadsheet. I was like, we are going to get everything going. We are going to have, I'm going to like know what the cost of everything is. I'm going to know where it is. I'm going to have the website, like, notes so that we know what was happening. I was like ready for this trip. I put a priority checklist so that we could go through and check what.
We're ready to go live.
Oh.
I got us.
Okay, well, TikTok is not going to be able to see the spreadsheet.
That's fine. I just want us to go live. Can we go live?
Go live. All right. Well, we will be right back to this. Let's go live on TikTok as well.
Live Studio now combines highlights and markers. Nice. Welcome to TikTok Live. Have fun interacting with your viewers in real time. Hosts must be 18 or older to go live. How old are you, DJ?
I am 32.
34. Viewers must be 18 or older to recharge and recharge. Remember to create a safe viewing experience by following our community guidelines. It's working. Okay. Gil says sounds good. But is that just me, or does DJ also sound good?
Well, I don't think I've talked yet, so let me see if... Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me on my mic? My very great mic that is probably a little too loud on our YouTube platform, but great on TikTok, I'm hoping, because... Because on YouTube, you could hear me chewing, and I'm so sorry about that. I do not like that sound. But I was hungry and I didn't want to get mad, so it was food or bust.
Yes, but is she too loud? Do I need to turn her down? Do I need to turn her up? What needs to happen? DJ does sound funny. I don't know what that means. DJ, do a monologue.
Do a monologue. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is better to do something. I can't remember the rest of that monologue. I'm so sorry to the people on TikTok. I can't see if you are commenting because I am controlling the YouTube stream. So if you like wanted to go there instead, that'd be awesome. But yeah, we're going to be talking about our travel. So it's fine. I will restart my whole monologue about how planning for, so I wanted to go to Disney, and I've been going to Disney every year except for this year. And so I was like, for this year's trip, I wanted to go to Tokyo Disney. So I planned an entire trip. I had a spreadsheet with checklists and expense costs and everything that you could think of that I wanted to do in Tokyo, including the Disney days. Like, I made it color coded for the days that we were gonna be there. We were ready to go.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say before we fully dive into this. You sound good. after I went and checked it. The problem is that you sound like you're in an echoey room, and that is maybe because I have you turned up your gain a little bit more than it needed to be turned up.
I mean, I can turn that down. I can turn that down a little. But it also... Well, I don't know, because... I don't know.
You're fine. I can hear you. I think it's more my headsets. These headsets, I've always had problems with them. So it's probably these headsets more than anything else.
Whatever you
Now
say.
that we got the troubleshooting out of the way. Gil says that's better, so it probably was the gain.
Okay.
I've always had problems with these headsets. You brought them for me. These are those JBL headsets that I've been complaining about for ages.
I think you just have issues, because mine are fine.
I'll trade them. I'll take yours. You can have these.
They're the exact same headset.
No. Obviously not, if I'm still having problems with them.
That's a you issue. I think it's just your system.
It's a you issue. Alrighty. While I forever fail at everything that has to do with JBL headsets, welcome to the show. We are the Halfwit Sisters. If it isn't apparent by my obvious trouble with headphones and setting up the basics of YouTube lives and TikTok lives.
I'm setting up the YouTube live. Mine was fine.
I am trying my best. This whole thing is a new phenomenon. I have about 3,000 followers, and I was like, yo, I can do the whole TikTok live thing, and I'm losing followers by the day. I got up to like 3,090, but now I start drifting and start to lose them because I haven't been posting the content that got me to 3,000, which was Peter Pan content. Nobody wants Peter Pan stuff anymore. I miss the hot topics of Peter Pan now. So nobody wants Peter Pan content anymore. So, before I can no longer use TikTok Live as more and more people leave, I decided that I would try out and just have some fun using the platform with my sister. We have always wanted to do this, and we're now here. Now that we got that out of the way, DJ really wants to talk about our harrowing adventures of trying to get to Japan and ending up in Australia instead.
Yes.
So take it away, baby sis.
Okay. So, like I was saying, I had a spreadsheet for the Tokyo trip. I also had a spreadsheet for a Paris trip, like a Paris-London trip, because I was like, we weren't quite sure if we were going to go do Tokyo or we were going to do Paris. We preferred Tokyo. And then everything was happening with Paris, like the riots and the protests and all of that stuff. So, like, we were like, we're doing Tokyo.
No. You sound so much better. I had to push the thing further into the
Apparently, I have the wit right now. Our one wit.
You sound amazing, DJ. I was like, what happened? I was adjusting, and then I just...
So, Becca, how are those JBL headphones?
Wow, that's fucking incredible.
I hate you.
No, it's been like almost 90 minutes of me just going, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. It must be your side. No, it's got to be my side. No, it's your side.
I told you.
How long has it been like that, though?
Probably since you got it, since you seem to always have problems.
Years. I've had this, oh.
You've had them since they came out, basically.
And I just never pushed the thing back. Oh, man,
It never
y'all.
clicked. It didn't click in. Becca, it like clicks. There's like a little boom, and it's in. You've just been having it slightly out.
I pushed on that thing so many times.
Apparently not.
You have the wit today, DJ. I give you the brain cell today.
Thank you.
You were saying?
Gil says loose cord, that tracks.
I own it. I'm not the most technically savvy of the two of us.
Becca.
I guess I could have Googled that one. Thing not work. And all I would have gotten is like, have you unplugged and plugged it back in? And you know what? It would have been a no. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, so with that being said, yeah, so we ended up, we were all prepared. We had things booked. We had our international driver license permits. We were ready to go to Tokyo. So we started off going to mom and dad's house and you just spent the night with them. I had been there for like a week. And then we took an Uber to the airport. So the airport part 1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
The airport has a few different parts. We got there. We got checked in pretty quickly. And everything was great. We got to the terminal. And, yeah, everything was great. We fly standby when we fly. Because our mother works for the airline that we were using.
Mother.
Yes, our mother works for the airline we were using.
Going full on formal with this one. Our mother.
And so we were like, okay, we're flying standby, so we just got to wait for some seats. Looking at the seating chart and looking how many people were in standby line, it was fine. We were good. There were plenty of seats. They start boarding, and it's still good. There's still plenty of seats. And then we get the announcement that there is a weight restriction, and they closed all the seats.
Mm-hmm. They're actually pulling people off the flight.
No, not this yet. No, not this one.
Oh.
We're still on the first flight. Okay. So we're sitting there, and we're like, they're trying to work it so that they can get more people in, get a better count of like the children on board, because the children don't weigh as much as an adult. So when they're doing the weight count, they're accounting for all the luggage, but they're also accounting for like adult-sized people. So they're trying to count the children, get a proper count of that, so that they know how many adults they can put back on from the wait list, from the standby list. So I mean, the pilot comes out, he's trying to get as many people on as they can. And then for some reason, more and more people keep getting added to our wait list, to the standby list. And so our number kept going down and down and down, because we kept getting bumped back because they had better priority than us. And eventually doors close and we are not on that flight.
Well, it wasn't just that we weren't on that flight. We decided not to get on the flight, because the guy's like, everybody's getting on this flight. The pilot's like, everybody's going to get on this flight. So we're like, okay, cool. We're going to hang around. And then we kept seeing more people get added onto the list. And we're like, okay, we're definitely not getting onto this flight. So we're going to go somewhere else. The other thing is that Houston only has one flight that goes to Tokyo every day. Just one flight. They don't have multiple flights. So we're like, okay, where else can we go to get a Tokyo flight out? And that's when we found out that there's at least 2 from Chicago that go out. So we decided to go to Chicago.
Yeah. So that was the waiting game that we had ended up playing, was just like waiting, trying to get there, and then the disappointment of not getting on that flight. And we're like, okay, we're gonna pivot. We're gonna go to Chicago. So we go from Houston. We take a flight to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we get there and we're like, okay, we have to take our flight from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Chicago. And there ended up only being one seat.
Oh, not only that, but I also had to figure out how to get my bag from Houston to Chicago too. So we get to, what was it, Tulsa?
Tulsa.
Right? So I'm like, go ahead. This lady says that she's going to take care of me and I'm going to get my flight to Tulsa.
From Tulsa to Chicago.
Right, Tulsa to Chicago. And then she tells me, I'm like, go ahead, get on that flight. I'll get there. I'll meet you there.
Which is where we made our really, this was like a huge mistake that we made. Because Becca had checked a bag, Becca should have gotten on that flight. Right. And I should have gone by way of, I think you went to Denver?
Yes, I ended up in Denver. But what really ticked me off is the lady, I go back up to the lady, I was like, okay, the flight is gone, everybody's gone. Can you help me now get the flight to Denver? And the lady goes, oh no, I can't help you. I was like, but you just told me that you could. She's like, nah, I can't, because you did something different in the system. And I was like, no, you told me that you could. So how do I go about it? And she's like, I don't know, you're just gonna have to figure it out. Her and like 3 other ladies were there, and they were like, yeah, you're just gonna have to figure it out. So I'm calling up Mom. I'm like, Mom, they told me that they can't help me get onto the next flight to Denver, so I don't know what to do now, and I don't have access to the system that you and Mom use to get all these flights. Meanwhile, there's like this lady in the this lady in the back that's like, my daughter knows how to do all of this stuff. Why don't you know how to do it all? I'm like, whoa, hold up, lady. Does it occur to you that I actually don't know what the system is that you guys are using? And she's like, no, you just need to figure it out. So I call up Mom. I'm like, Mom, I don't know what it is. I don't know how to get there. I don't know how to get the system going at all. I'm just trapped here in wherever the hell we were trapped. I forget. What was it? Tulsa? I'm trapped in Tulsa. I need to get to Denver, and then I need to get from Denver to Chicago. And the lady, and Mom's like, okay, hand me over to the lady at the front desk. And I'm like, this is like the equivalent of handing your phone over to the teacher so your mom can yell at customer service. Like, like, this is so embarrassing. So I walk all the way over back to these ladies. I was like, my mom wants to talk to you. And just hand them the phone. And I'm like, please, I'm so sorry. This is super embarrassing. Please talk to them. And they're like, yeah, we don't know what it is that you did, but we can't help your daughter. You need to help her get to the next location. And they're like, yeah, okay. I'm going to get you there. So I eventually get to Denver, and I have to run from I'm at like 70. I have to run all the way down to like gate 50 or something like that to make my next flight. And so I'm running the entire time. I'm like, I gotta get there. I get there, and they only have 2 seats left. And they have a long standby list. So I'm like, oh man, I don't think I'm going to get on this flight. So I wait. And I'm like, lady, how many do you think I'm going to get onto this flight? And she's like, I got it. And she's looking at this long standby list. And she's like, no. It's like, okay, is there another flight that's going to leave out to Chicago? And she's like, I don't think so. I'm just like, man, come on. I'm just not having a good time. And I just ran down to this just to find out that I'm most likely either not going to make this flight, or there's not going to be another flight, and I'm going to end up spending the night there in Denver when I definitely need to get to Chicago to make like the earliest flight that they have out to Tokyo. And I'm just like, please let me get on this flight. And I do. I make the flight, and I'm like, yes, There's 2 seats only. I get one. I make one of the seats, and I'm on there, and I'm celebrating. I'm about to make this TikTok, like, yeah, I fucking made it onto here. Then the lady walks onto the flight, and she's like, you, right? I'm like, yeah, and she's like, your ticket is not a ticket. And I'm like, what do you mean flight? And at this point, I am like close to tears. I'm like, but I have the ticket, it's in it. And she's like, you need to get off the flight. So I'm like walking up the what is it, the gagway or whatever they call
Gateway.
it. Yeah, I'm walking up the thing, and I'm like, explain to me how this paper ticket that I clearly have in my hand is not a ticket. She's just like, it's just not. It doesn't have any money on it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I sit in the middle of the airport calling mom up. I was just like, they told me it's not a ticket, and I'm crying on the phone. I was like, I don't understand why it's not a ticket, mom. I was just like, she's like, I don't get it either, babe. I don't know why. And it turns out because we had been flight hopping so much, we had used up all the money that was in the account. So it didn't actually pay for that ticket for me to get onto that flight. And that's what happened. And that's why the ticket wasn't a ticket. So I'm just sitting there in Denver going, I don't know if I'm going to make it anywhere.
Meanwhile, I'm at the hotel that we're staying at for the night.
Oh,
Just relaxing.
Yeah. Just relaxing.
I made it to Chicago just fine.
And my bag is still in Houston. I'm in Denver. I still need to get over to Chicago. I do make it. I get there. I finally get there. And I'm calling, like, every step of the way. I keep calling them. I was like, my bag needs to get to Chicago so that I can get to Tokyo. So it and me can get to Tokyo. And they're like, yeah, it might get there. I was like, what do you mean my bag might get there? They're like, yeah, your bag might get to Chicago, or it might not. I'm like, but my clothes are in my bag. And they're like, yeah, that's unfortunate, but it may or may not get there. I'm like, alrighty. So I get I get there. It's 12 at night by the time I get to Chicago. And the lady's like, the lady that I'm talking to about my bag is like, we'll try and get your bag here by like 12. Not 12, by like, it's just 12 at night. By 6 in the morning on the first flight that they can. The airport, by the way, the hotel that we're staying in, the room doesn't have AC. It doesn't have any AC. We try all the buttons, and we don't have any AC. I'm too fed up with everything to like make a scene to go get to like straight out the hotel. DJ's just like, I want to sleep, and she just goes back to sleep.
So because of the delay that Becca had in Denver, I had tried staying up until they got in so that like I could just go grab them and we get to the hotel and we'd just go to sleep and then wake up for our flight in the morning. But it had gotten so late that I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap. And so eventually we do reunite. Becca's at the hotel. I've talked to the luggage lady. I'm not allowed to do anything because it's Becca's luggage. We finally get there. Becca talks to the luggage lady. She's like, we'll try to figure that out. Get it on this first flight.
They don't. Long story short on the luggage, they don't.
Becca's luggage is lost. And we have to get through security so that we can go to our next flight. Which originally we were going to fly into one of the Tokyo airports. Now we're trying to fly into the other Tokyo airport.
Yeah. So we get onto the other side of the security gate and we're like excited. We're like, yes, there's plenty of tickets. I don't sleep that night. I'm looking at the standby list and I get this feeling, it's like, I need to buy a ticket. I should just buy us tickets. 100% just buy us ticket. I have enough money to just buy us tickets. I wake DJ up at like 6 in the morning and I'm like, we should just buy tickets. And she goes, nah, we've got...
There were like 21 seats available. There were like 10 people on the standby list. I was like, it's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there was some volcano activity that threw ash in the air, which is why the flights were on weight restrictions. Becca should have bought the tickets.
I should have bought the ticket. I just should have done it when I had my gut feeling. I was like, I should just buy it. We get onto the other side. We're eating our food, and we're like, we hear the announcement come through, and this is the flight that they actually start taking people actually off the airplane.
And here's the thing. This is really why you should have done it. So the tickets, I think you said, were like $1,700.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave $2,000 to every person that came off the flight.
Mm-hmm. Or volunteered to be off the flight,
yeah. To volunteer. And so, like, because... And then they were, like, guaranteeing them getting on that next flight. And I was just like, damn it.
Yeah. So we said... At that point, we were like, we're not making it to Tokyo. No. And one of the reasons why we decided to, like, just kind of give up on the trip is because DJ just didn't have enough time to do it.
Yeah. I had to be back the following Monday because I had work that week and I couldn't take off any more time. I don't work from home. I work as a substitute, so there's, like, can't just, like, remote into work. So we're like, by the time we get there, we're going to have to cut, because of time changes, we're going to have to cut a whole day off our trip. And there was just so much that we wanted to do that if we hadn't, I would have been disappointed in the trip.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, all right, let's pivot, new plan. Becca, here's the website. Let's get you an account on this website so you can actually get your own tickets. And start looking for anything that we need our passport for. Because we had our passports, we wanted to go overseas.
Mm-hmm. And that was just I made a mess of that. I made a whole mess of that. I tried my best, though. I've never been in that system before, but I tried my best. I tried to find... I selected Australia because that was just somewhere different. And we've never been in that, like, quadrant of the world. And we're just like, let's go here. And then immediately, like, I'm in
issues.
Issues. Like, we tried asking people for help. We tried like, every step of the way, we just ran into, like, one thing after the other. So it's just, like, too numerous to really go into, but, like...
A quick overview is, in Chicago, we were trying to check into our flight. We couldn't figure out why not. It was asking us for our passport stuff. We were putting that in, and it was not completing the check-in. We're at the check-in desk for the flight that we're trying to get on, which was not the flight I said to take. I said to take the later flight so that we had time, but no... You just put us on the next flight. Well, actually, I think Mom put us on the next flight.
Mom put us on the next flight.
Very next flight that was like leaving in 10 minutes. We're at the thing. There's enough seats to get us on, and the guys at the gate are like, we can tell you no because you checked in too late. And I were like, totally understand that.
We're like, if you want to do that, that's fine.
If that is what you want to do, that is fine. We did not. This was our mother. Mom booked us on this flight against what I had said. But they couldn't figure out why we couldn't check in. So the guy at the gate's like, all right, I'm just going to take off the second half of your flight, which is the flight from LAX to Sydney, and we'll get you checked in that way, because that's the only way I can think of how to do this. And then once you get to the other side, you will figure out why you can't get checked in and do all that. Or like, perfect, whatever. They let us on the flight. We get over to LAX.
And then on the flight, DJ all of a sudden decides she's going to be, like, super mysterious person and not tell me what the heck is going on. She's just, like, keeps handing me her phone, and I'm just, like, filling out forms on her phone.
So, for those not in the know, well, let's start with this. I was Googling stuff because I found out that I could get the Wi-Fi for free through my mobile carrier. And I was like, just Googling stuff. And then I saw something about a visa. And I was like, do we need a visa to go to Australia? More Googling. Yes, in fact, we do need a visa to go to Australia. Cue panic. And I have already panicked Becca enough with the Tokyo stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to fill all of this out. And I filled out most of everything that I could. I filled out all my stuff. Couldn't submit it yet because you needed GPS saying that you weren't in Australia to submit it, because if you're in Australia, you can't apply for the visa. So I was like, okay, as soon as we land, I'll turn off airplane mode, I'll turn on location, and I will submit the thing. And I tried to fill out everything for Becca, but it's not letting me. It needs a scan of their face. So I was like, hey, Becca, just fill this out. Don't worry about it.
She's handing me back and forth this phone. We're not sitting next to each other on the flight. So these dudes that are between us end up becoming like a part of like our handing back and forth.
What's funny is as they're handing my phone back to you and back, they're just continuing their conversation.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm just going to do this because
It was better than us like reaching and like running
and stepping
around.
over them. It was a whole thing. Like, we did it the first time, and then they were just like, yeah, we're just gonna and just continue this conversation, and it's fine. But so we land. We had did a little bit of research on like things that we could do in Australia and Sydney, because like we knew we were trying to get there.
But at this point, we were so paranoid about like not getting there because of everything that had happened. Like, we were worried we were going to be jinxed.
Yeah.
We didn't book a thing.
And not only that, but like I was trying to cancel everything for Tokyo, and so like I'm on the phone trying to get the Airbnb was easy to cancel, but the hotel that we were staying at canceled, all the activities. So I was like, I wasn't sure how much we were going to have in my budget for activities, because it all depended on what was refunded.
Yeah.
And we were outside the full refund periods for almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, I don't know how much is left in my budget because of all of this hopping around.
Mm-hmm.
But so we do finally land in LAX, and we have, a 6-hour layover?
Yeah, we had a pretty long layover, but we got the layover and got into Sydney, like got our Sydney stuff.
With first class seats.
Thankfully.
They were amazing, and Becca got a fresh pair of clothing.
Yeah, I still don't have my suitcase at this point. We find out that I'm not going to get my suitcase. Like, by the time we make it to Sydney, we find out that I'm not going to get my suitcase until Wednesday. At all. Like, by the time I get to Sydney, I go up to the desk. I'm like, lady, I don't know where my suitcase is. And they're like, oh, no, it made it to Tokyo. So we're in Sydney. The suitcase is in Tokyo.
Thankfully, it actually hadn't made it to Tokyo. It was still in Chicago.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey, I need my suitcase to make it to me. And they're like, yeah, okay, so here, we're going to get it to you. And they sent it over to me. And I'm like, awesome, great. But it wasn't going to get to me on Wednesday. So I actually had to buy almost like 4 days worth of clothing.
Our first day was shopping. So Becca can't see this because they're not watching my screen. But here is a photo, if you're on our YouTube live. Here's a photo of the first mall we went to with the garden that was on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
We found a hotel, because we did look for Airbnbs, but the prices were basically the same as the hotel, but with more work. So we found a hotel. And we just walked over to the nearest mall, hoping to find some clothes for Becca.
Which was a Kmart, of all things.
Yeah.
So it was a Kmart. In the U.S., there's really no more Kmarts left. But there was a Kmart in Australia, so that was... And the clothes were really affordable. And the thing... This is TMI. But they had for sale... Here in the U.S., you have to order these online. Period panties. But you could buy them in-store for... In Australia, you could buy period panties in-store, which really blew my mind.
Yeah. And they're pretty nice. So we ended up getting ourselves a couple pairs of those, because
I think one of the things that really blew me away, besides like how pretty their money was how accessible their healthcare is in Australia, right? Because I have I have issues with nausea, and when I was getting nauseous, it was real easy to get nausea medicine. That's like, I need some like heavy duty nausea medicine sometimes, and it was real easy to just go up to the pharmacy there and be like, I need something like this. And they're like, oh yeah, you just need this. But if you need something even more, then you do have to go to the doctor to get a prescription for what you use in the U.S. And we were really taken aback because there's like a pharmacy.
Would they, unlike here in America, where like our pharmacies, our drugstores are also just like a convenience store, their pharmacy is really just a pharmacy. They barely have anything else other than medicine. They have like perfumes and some stuff like that, but it was mainly just like health things.
Yeah. So it was really interesting to just be, and that's, I mean, we've been in other countries, and so we've seen like pharmacies just be pharmacies and how accessible like their medication and everything is in that regard. Like we've lived in Spain and we've seen that before.
Yeah. But we haven't really had to interact with those pharmacies often. Here we went to a couple different pharmacies.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to get at is just like it always is just kind of a reminder like how closed off the American medical is because of just like big pharma. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. But so that was our first day. Our first day, we got in, we checked in, and we were going around and trying to find Becca clothing. Because at this point, the only new clothing Becca has put on their body is the pajamas that we got from first class. Which was great. But the second day...
Or the clothes that I just had. And I was I was accessorizing at that point. I was like, I can wear this with this shirt that I've been wearing for like 3 days at this point.
But yeah, so then the second day we did the hop on and hop off bus. And we also had some really tasty food, which, again, there's pictures on the YouTube.
Despite us not going to Tokyo, we still ate a lot of Asian cuisine. We went to a revolving sushi bar down in Bondi Beach.
Yes. And honestly, like we got the chocolate dip cones that you like too. And like I had packed for Tokyo and like themed outfits for Tokyo in Tokyo Disney because I like to go Disney bounding. So like my outfits were like not ready for Australia, but I still really enjoyed it. The weather was nice. Like probably could have used an extra layer on a couple of the days. Because I had to give Becca a layer or two.
Well, as a reminder, as we're entering our summer, they're entering their winter.
Yeah, because they are on the opposite side of the globe, so they are on opposite sides of seasons from us. But that second day, it was that hop on, hop off us. We did have the revolving sushi at that really cute cat place.
Mm-hmm.
The food. Our breakfast was delicious. Those fries with the chicken. What we found out later was chicken salt.
Was it really? Because it just didn't taste the same.
It had to be chicken salt.
It didn't taste the same.
It looks the exact same.
But it doesn't taste. I'm just saying it doesn't taste the same. I'm not. I'm just asking. I'm just telling you. I tried it. It didn't taste the same.
I think it was chicken salt, which our tour guide on the fourth day told us about. But we will get to the fourth day in just a sec. The third day, we went to Luna Park.
Right, that weird, creepy-ass face.
So creepy.
Which, when you look back at some of the pictures that they have of Luna Park, when did they put that creepy face up? Because it wasn't there when they were first opening up Luna Park.
I don't know. But it's funny, I sent a picture to my friends of the Coney Island sign in Luna Park because I live in New York, so I can go to actual Coney Island. But I was like, I traveled halfway around the world to go to Coney Island.
And that was such a disappointing place. They brought me...
I liked the rotor motor. which is this.
Oh yeah,
The ride where you're standing against the wall. There's no safety harness or anything like that, but they start spinning you really fast so that you stick to the wall.
So that the centrifugal force.
Yes, but it was a fun day. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it wasn't like a huge park. It was no Disney. But so that was our third day, and then our fourth day was the Blue Mountain tour. Where our host, our tour guide, gave us a lengthy discussion on Tim Tams.
15-minute conversation on that. She never stopped talking. She
was amazing.
She never stopped talking. She spent the entire time just going.
She was telling us about history and just local things, and like at no point did she stop talking. She also let us go to a whole bunch of different lookout points so that we could see some stuff. We got to see some kangaroos. And it was just a really, really cool day. I really liked that day. My favorite part, and what I like to tell people, is I fed kangaroos in the morning, and then I ate kangaroo at night.
That's right, we did. They call it the coat of arms, because you could eat emu and kangaroo.
And so we had the coat of arms pizza. It was good.
Oh, because emu and kangaroo is on their coat of arms, which is why it's called the coat of arms.
Yeah. The fifth day was the day where my planning was not great. We did an aerial rope course. So we went to the zoo, and there was an aerial rope course over there. So we went and we started with that, and then we walked around the zoo all day.
As far as aerial rope courses go, it's not as tough as some of the ones we've been on.
Definitely not. And funny enough, we were just going to do the easy one and just leave it at that because we knew we were going to walk around a lot today. And we had a bridge climb scheduled for later that day. But the lady tricked us, and we ended up on the harder course first.
We really should have noticed something was up.
She really should have. Four obstacles in, we're just like, dear God, this is really difficult. This is the easy course.
Right.
And so we got off that course.
But it was also a testament to like how many of those courses we have done, because we've been on like some super hard one. As soon as we started doing the actual easy course, we just kind of flew through, and we're like,
this would be the easy course.
We get it now.
Yeah. The cool thing about it was you got to kind of like, you weren't going over any enclosures, but you did get to see some of the enclosures of the animals because we were going through parts of the zoo. And it was really funny looking down and like seeing some of the other tourists look up and see us, and we're like, "Hi, you're seeing the American dodo birds here."
Definitely scared some kids.
Yeah, scared some and surprised most. But yeah, so and then we went to do the bridge climb.
Highly recommended. Anybody that. Most of my friends who have been to Australia highly recommended that we did the bridge climb.
And originally we weren't going to because it's pretty expensive.
It was like $300, $400.
Yeah.
USD.
But at this point we found out that we had gotten complete refunds on all of our Tokyo trip, all of our Tokyo stuff. Even our hotel, even though we had been 2 days late, gave us a complete refund, which was fantastic, and I am so grateful to all of those people. And those are definitely places that whenever we do get to go to Tokyo, I want to stay, and those activities I want to do. Because I think we maybe lost $5 or $10 in exchange rates, which of course they're not going to refund us the exchange rate. They're just going to refund us the price, which is fine. Totally understand that. But I was so grateful that they all were super understanding and refunded everything. So we knew we had the money. I knew I had the money to do our bridge climb, and I had made the joke earlier that we should go skydiving, even though I never actually want to go skydiving. And it was the same price as the bridge climb, so bridge climb it was. And then we had that really sweet bread. We went to that dessert place. And that was day 5. We were exhausted. So day 6, we did a spa day.
No, we did 2 spa days, really. Well, we did. One was like we went and got our feet massage, which I highly recommend. If you are going to be doing if you're going to be spending a lot of time just walking around, highly recommend that you go and get your feet massaged.
Yeah.
Like, highly recommend you do that.
And there's a lot of places in their Chinatown type area.
It was Chinatown.
It was
Chinatown. We were actually,
it was Chinatown.
We didn't know this, but we were like a street over from Chinatown. It was their Chinatown, yeah.
So we did that, and then we had to go pick up your luggage, didn't we?
We did, yeah. On that Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, on Wednesday. Wednesday we went and got it. So by Wednesday I had my clothes.
Yeah. So that day we did we went back to that breakfast place that I liked, and then did the spa day, and then we had our evening cruise. Because we were coming to the end of our vacation. Where we met this very nice couple who are traveling the world via cruises, and chattered their ear off. I'm so sorry if you ever watch this. We just interrupted your entire couple's evening.
We kind of did it twice. Like, there was a couple that we met during the Blue Mountain cruise during the Blue Mountain tour. Yeah, but they were kind of into it, and then there was the other one that I do feel, but we also, when we get alcohol into us, we just kind of become chatterboxes.
And that cider was good. I liked that cider. It was summer by. I don't know. I'm looking at the picture right now. But it was good. We took some incredible pictures. Okay, the pictures were really hard to take. Plus, we were a little tipsy at that point. But I am...
You were tipsy.
I was tipsy. I was having fun. But I'm really proud of, the picture that I'm showing right now. And then we had, finally, food. And that was our last day. And so the next day was back to the airport.
Yep. That was pretty much it.
And we had to have economy seats on the way back.
Yes. Night and day difference. Oh my gosh. If we were getting, we got served nice, beautiful meals in first class, and then you get to the economy class and it's freaking slop. They just freaking just toss it into that stuff and just toss it in front of me, and it's there's your food.
Yeah, it was not great. And also, it is cramped. Anyone who flies economy for that long, this is such a privileged view. I sound so entitled and privileged right now. I am fully aware of that, but I got spoiled on the way there, and on the way back, I was scrunched up. I couldn't, and I was tired, and it was not a fun day for me, and I'm sure it wasn't for you either. If we could have gone the next day, we would have been able to get into the first class again, but because I had to be back.
Just to be clear about it, we cannot afford first class tickets.
No, we fly standby.
just to be clear, we cannot afford first class tickets. They are $20,000 tickets to get first class. We cannot afford first class tickets.
Yes.
We are just extremely fortunate that we have family that work
for the airline.
Yeah, work for the airlines, and they happen to for like them, be affordable for them, and we are able to get tickets through them. That's the
Yes.
only way. Otherwise, we would be flying economy every goddamn
Yeah.
time.
The nice thing, like if we had to buy our own tickets for economy, at least we'd be sitting by each other, and we could do that trick where you like cross. So like I'd be sleeping on your TV tray, and then you'd be sleeping on my back, or vice versa. So there's like a little more room for each other.
You thinking I'd be sleeping? I didn't sleep on the way there.
Okay, well I would still be in your area. I'm sorry. I am tall and it is scrunchy, and I'm taking up your area.
Just that being said,
we are extremely lucky that we did get first class that first time, and that we are able to afford the severely reduced flight cost for flying standby. The downside of flying standby is like we didn't get to go to Tokyo because like if there's not a seat, you don't get to fly. But it does mean that we get some pretty flexible travel.
Or you end up with tickets that are not tickets.
Yes. And so there's a lot of downsides to flying standby, but there's a lot of upsides, and the price is one of them. And we have flown that long because we used to live on Guam. And so like we would fly from Guam back to the States in economy. But we were also a lot smaller then. So people who fly economy constantly, more power to you, because that is a lot. But it was a really fun trip. I'm glad we got to do it. And I am now doing spreadsheets for other places that we can go, so that if we ever have to go and get derailed on our trip again, we at least have plans in place for activities that we can do.
It's gonna be a while because right now I am jobless.
Yeah, you're jobless. I'm broke, and I need to finish my degree. But it will be a while before we take such a big trip. I'm hoping that we may be able to get a small trip again, maybe next year.
Small trip? Australia was a small trip. Our definition of trips are becoming more and more skewed.
They really are.
We're not making any sense anymore. We just want a small trip. Okay, yeah, small trips. What's a small trip for you? You know that place halfway across the world.
That is the benefit of having someone who works for the airline, is in fact that like our smaller trips cost as much as sometimes a domestic trip would cost.
Oh, your camera froze on my thing. Oh god.
I think my camera froze completely on your side. Hold on, I have to stop it. Restart. Start. Oh, come on.
But overall, we enjoyed our Australian trip a lot.
Yeah.
And anytime I said we now adopt this in my household. Anytime we started to like get frustrated or have to make a decision, I think anytime we had to make a decision or anything like that, we started flipping coins. You and me?
Yeah.
We're like, are we gonna go eat? Heads or tails? Go eat or go back to this place? So we just started deferring, and that helped us really mitigate whether or not we were gonna have arguments. I think that really helped us save our trip a lot. Because like sometimes when you get tired or I get tired, we tend to get like super bitchy. Not gonna lie, we tend to get super bitchy, and we're just like, let's not have that happen. We just want to enjoy our trip. So what's like the best way of making sure we retain the fun? And coin flips was like the best way to do it.
Yeah. Which also just adds a lovely sense of chance into our trips. Okay,
Yeah.
my camera, I can't get my camera to reconnect.
No worries. That's fine. We can still hear you. And
So-
all of the traffic behind you.
I'm sorry, I live in New York. I know I'm on the 21st floor, but I still live in New York.
So yeah, well, that and also is like if there was more than one choice, we'd just roll a dice or something. Thank Google for having that ability to do it.
Yeah.
So it was great. It was really enjoyable overall. Just the experience and having the chance to do it. Going to somewhere that wasn't in the States was a great opportunity.
Yeah. And definitely, like, I would love to go back to Australia one day, but to a different part of Australia, go see the Great Barrier Reef. We did look to see if we could go to the Great Barrier Reef and that, but it was going to be a 2-day trip to
It was
Queensland.
Yeah, it was 2 days by train or like a 3-hour flight, and we just couldn't afford either.
Yeah.
That was it overall. Next time we do this, we should definitely talk about Star Trek, because the finale should be this Thursday.
Yes. I finished. I'm caught up and I'm finished and I'm excited.
I did. I saw the people were posting the songs that were from the last episode, Subspace Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
And Spock's song has been living in my head just rent-free this entire week.
It was such good. So we will talk about that next time. But I think for now, I think that's it. We talked about our trip to
not Tokyo, our
Sydney, Australia.
Yes. So we'll leave it here for the time being. We just wanted to, these are new. We used to do recorded podcasts, but we just wanted to try live this time around, just to have some fun. I'm trying TikTok live for kind of the first time. I did a recording. It was bad. I had people just popping up while I was making my bookshelf. This time I wanted to try with DJ, and maybe next time we'll talk a little bit more about while I have the ability to live stream, I'd like to use it. So when we do live streams on Halfwit Sister, I figured I'd use it on mine here too.
We'll do other types of streams too. Hopefully.
Yeah. Can do.
But other than that, I think that's where we can end our stream for today. It's been nice chatting and remembering our fun little trip.
Mm-hmm. Already tiny. Oh, wait. Oh my god. Is this gonna break on me? Hold on. Oh god. The closing screen. Right there, what it says. Thank you for watching. This has been the Halfwit Sisters. I now know how to work my JBL headsets.
Also, Becca, I don't think you have your headsets plugged in correctly.
Oh no, because I'm using my microphone on my computer.
Yeah, no. The part that goes to your headset is supposed to be black on your cord.
That might do it too.
So there's still some technical things that we're working on, but thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. And for our YouTube watchers, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you can be notified when we go live.
Ciao.
Bye.
No, gosh, it's going to take me forever to get to the stop live button.
All right. See ya.